Hello and welcome to this Eyes of Harmony reaction to episode 3, Rosa. Just a little apology. I'm at home at the moment from uni, and I do not have my microphone equipment with me. So if I sound a little different, it's because I'm having to use my laptop microphone. So apologies for that. But this episode, damn, that was good.
It's certainly
I really, really enjoyed it.
it's a step up from like the past. Well, for the previous two episodes. Still a few problems I have with it, but I mean, there's a lot of interesting concepts here, and it's certainly beautifully well shot and everything, and they very nicely
Oh,
replicated.
it looked amazing.
It made you feel uncomfortable in the right, I guess, the right way for this,
The right
but
ways,
also the
yeah.
wrong way, I guess.
It makes you look back and be like, how were we ever like that? You know, how was society that just so stupid to judge such, it was great television. I was really enjoying it. My one if is how they defeat the
Well, I
villain.
think the villain in general was just kind of.
Oh, I found him really intriguing, but it was did they ever explain why it was this specific point which ruined his life? Like I'm
Well,
guessing he was just racist. I'm guessing is what the
yeah, well, I mean, the thing about him, I think, was that they kind of went the exact way, kind of, I felt they were going to go with him, kind of make him a white supremacist who's going back and reversing time. And I mean, that's a different angle of it. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't a specific incident or anything. He just was. And I mean, that's kind of, I guess for me, part of the problem. You said there was intrigue, and there is, but we don't really get enough payoff for that, I guess, in a way, unless they decide to bring him back, because they did shoot him away, not actually kill him. So
exactly. I'm interested because they keep not killing the villain.
they're just gonna have this.
They're all gonna. It's gonna be like Scooby Doo 2, where all the villains turn up at the end. And they're just all there, and they're like running away, and there's like the Stenza with Tim Shaw, and they turn to run down another corridor, and then there's whatever it was, Steely, I think his name was, is just there with his car like blocking the road.
It's blocking the way in.
But I liked the way it was. I love the historical stories. The Aztecs from the William Hartnell era being my all-time favorite. Arguably, maybe my favorite classic Doctor Who story. Arguably, maybe one of my favorite Doctor Who stories ever. And this one really gave me the feels of that one.
Yeah.
I really did love it. I loved when Ryan met Martin Luther King. Like, it was the reaction which we'd all have. Like him just saying their names to try, like, kind of just get his head around that he was actually talking to Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. Absolutely.
Yeah, just
crazy.
sheer
But
disbelief. Absolutely. No,
the production was great. Sets were
yeah.
amazing. They did say Negro, which I was they did it at the right point as well when Ryan got slapped. It really went, okay, we're going with this level.
Yeah.
Like, we're not pandering
They
it.
didn't hold
When
back.
that happened, it was yeah, and it was at the right time. They didn't do this fake build up. They were just like, right, this is the time. This is what it was like. Deal with it, basically, is what they were saying to the audience, and it was really, really good. And I mean, it's perfect how Graham being a bus driver perfectly.
It ended up kind of tying in. I wonder if that was kind of
really
why they did it in the first
intentional.
place. Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
This is why we need
But
Doctor Who Confidential back.
Oh, well, this episode was I really, really did enjoy. The Doctor was great. Jodie did a great performance, and I really liked it when they're on top of those tanks. I think they're oil tanks. I'm not sure.
Believe
And they
so.
were having that standoff, talking to each other. Time Vortex Manipulator, an interesting reference, but also not to like Moffat's kind of references, where if you haven't seen the episode, you won't understand. So
And I thought for a moment they were actually going to make the guy a time agent.
a time agent, yeah, because that's what I was thinking.
But
I liked the idea of the chip stopping him from hurting anyone. That made sense. because obviously if you were going to change history, he could have just killed Rosa Parks, and that would have been, you know, pretty much done and
Hmm.
dusted. Um,
I think the interesting thing
but
about that to think about would be if Rosa Parks hadn't done it then surely something else would have come along. And I always think history is heading in one direction ultimately. So I guess they
yeah,
never bring up that fact, but I mean I guess it not because Rose is the icon, at least from their perspective. So I guess it's yeah, just the thought. That doesn't really tie into anything.
but yeah, it was yeah. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Production, the crystal moves, so at least we
Yeah,
have
moving
a
some of that.
moving part in the
What
TARDIS.
one thing that bothered me about this episode though was when they get to the bus scene, I really didn't appreciate the vocal theme. I really felt like there should have been a lot more of like a piano piece or something, just something a lot. It,
Oh, the
yeah, I
song.
didn't know. I didn't, or something more 50s, something that fits into the the environment. Instead, we just got
It was
modern sad pop song kind of thing, and
that
that was
was kind of
yeah,
jarring.
and they
Thinking
put it,
back,
as the end credits as well. It's just like, you could
I
have,
found it weird it was over the next time, but
yeah, yeah, that too. I guess it's just to continue the mood. But if they had a something that I kind of, you know, felt emotional for, then that might have meant more to me. But yeah, I felt I didn't feel like that was appropriate. Others, I'm sure, will disagree with that, but really feel like,
it's just your own
yeah,
opinion. Yeah.
but I feel like it should have been either something somber and instrumental, or something that fits more into the 50s, as opposed to being something
I
so more
loved.
modern.
This is the first time where actually a theme has stuck out more. Rosa's leitmotif, which is like a fancy word for theme, like with the brass. I really enjoyed her theme, Rosa's theme. I'm still waiting to kind of really properly hear the Doctor's one going. Apparently, it was when she was crafting the Sonic was a variation of a Doctor's theme. But I don't know, like Rosa's theme at the moment has stuck out far more to me with the brass instruments.
I
I really like
actually
that.
didn't notice it.
Oh, when you go back, there's it's throughout. They use it a lot more.
I do
Every time
vaguely
she's on the
remember
bus.
the theme which they do when they are making the plans, though. That was the one theme that slightly stuck out to me, but I also couldn't tell you how it goes off the top of my head. I just remember hearing it twice.
I can't remember her piece off, but I can remember it like the brass, kind of how it was, which is good. Like brass signifies kind of strength
Well,
in
and
music
fits in, I think, a bit more the 50s,
production.
isn't it? I mean,
Exactly.
that's.
Yeah. I did love how Graham didn't want to be on the bus though. Like Graham was the white man standing up who needed a seat. Like
Yeah, well, that's. I was kind of thinking that was kind of how it was going to go.
it was good. I knew they'd end up on the bus at the same
Yeah.
time. But I think Marilee Blackman and Chris Chibnall did an excellent job of writing a script, which could have been very touchy and very
Hmm.
risky. And I think they paid it off well.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Villain a bit weak, but the villain's not the focus of this story. It's not like the
Also,
Daleks, where the
also,
Daleks are the
also,
focus. The focus is Rosa.
Also, the only other thing I'd say is that, and again, I think all my critiques with this will mostly come down as personal preferences, but some of this felt a bit more. Parts of this episode felt a bit more like a lecture. Yeah, I kind of like being shown the history things rather than necessarily just being stated it in the way they did here. They kind of
Some
they
things,
kind of
yeah.
go over large chunks of dialogue just talking about Rosa and the various things, and that's yeah, and I can understand why, but I kind of would have perhaps
I think it's the way they had to fit it around actually what happened,
yeah
so they couldn't have Rosa being a huge part of it. Rosa had to carry on her life as
yeah,
normal, and they couldn't have too much of an
but
impact on it, or it would
I
detract if someone told her like no matter what happens you can't get up. Like if someone told her to do it,
yeah
it
Oh no,
loses the,
I agree with that. Oh no, what I was just kind of going off was that maybe something more like they did with Unicorn the Wasp, where they just show like flash forwards and flashbacks and whatnot. I think, as
yes.
opposed to just spouting tons of
Oh,
dialogue.
the end
Well,
where
no, it's
yeah, the
mostly in
end
the
where she's
middle.
talking about
When they're like writing on the walls and whatnot, and they just spend like several minutes just talking about Rosa and about everything about Rosa and about all that happened. I think that might have been
one of
better
the
if we were
things I liked
shown that
actually,
stuff.
the Banksy
Oh yeah.
jokes where she was like, "You're not Banksy, or am
Mm.
I?"
Yeah.
And they didn't carry it on. Like it was perfect for that scene, and then they left that joke, and that was good. But overall, I'm really happy with
Yeah.
that episode. Definitely one I'd happily go back and
I-
watch. Really good historical
I'd say
piece, and I'm looking forward to the next one when it's well, I know there's Charles the First at some point,
yeah.
which I'm very very much
I'm
looking
down for
forward
that.
to.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is probably the strongest that we've had all season. Still, and as I said, a lot of things in terms of personal preferences, but there's still a few issues I still have with it. Lots of very interesting concepts. The fact that they kind of have to, as opposed to trying to change history or whatnot, they have to very carefully
It's
maneuver around keeping history in one place, and that they don't
yeah.
do that all that often.
It's not like Fires of
Yeah, I
Pompeii.
mean, of course, there are always moments. Yeah, Fires of Pompeii and Father's Day do stuff with that kind of idea that, what will happen if you mess with the history too much. But we don't have. In most cases, it somewhat resolves itself in a lot of cases without necessarily the Doctor having
Yeah,
to do anything. And here, the Doctor has to carefully work around it. So that's what made it
yeah.
such an interesting premise idea for an episode. And again, I think the last chunk of it, minus as from my opinion, the song at the end, was definitely the strongest part of the episode. I'd say very much so, where they have to, care.
Just sit
Well,
there.
just no,
Yeah,
just carefully, just the whole plan bit where they have to,
yeah.
always one step behind the villain who's, couldn't.
I felt the tension in the scene. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I could feel it. I could feel it. Um, but yeah, so next week, Arachnids in the UK, back in Sheffield. I think that's a good time to return.
Yeah, 4 episodes in.
Very much like Aliens of London World War Three.
I guess so.
It's the series one had the perfect layout in some ways. I'm a bit like wish there was a two-parter. Maybe the finale is. Maybe they're just trying to
Well,
for our expectations.
potentially, I think it could be a soft two-parter. It will be
Heaven sent hell bent kind of
maybe something like that. Yeah, something to that degree. So it's like two stories, but also one story, as it were.
yeah. So the last time spiders were done was Planet of the Spiders. So it'll be interesting if there's a
Is that
callback
the
to
only
that.
time they've done it?
Um,
Wait.
properly where it was like just spiders, nothing fake. I mean, they had the Kill the Moon kind of
Yeah, that was that.
side
Yeah, that's what I was
things.
thinking of. That counts.
Ah, okay. Well, this one will do it better.
Yeah. Well, I think.
From the
I
trailers.
think
from
unless they
the
messed up really badly, then sure it will be.
from the trailers, the last series 11 trailer, like we know there's giant
Mm-hmm.
spiders, so someone's obviously increasing them in size or something. It'd be interesting. So yeah, and our second female director ever, Sally Aprahamian. Oh no, so that's interesting. Written by just Chris Chibnall. So there we go. So Mallory Blackman, good writing, good one.
And Chris Chibnall, because
High
he's
five.
also.
Fist bump by the river. But yeah, oh no, great stuff. Really enjoying this season. My ranking so far would be Rosa at the top, Woman Who Fell to Earth second, Ghost Monument
Yeah,
third.
agreed.
Yeah. Let's see if Arachnids in the UK messes it up. Let's see if it can take the top spot, what will happen?
What is this like a league
Um,
table now?
I think, yeah, I think we should rank
The
it.
dot.
We might
Well,
as
I
well.
think it'd be more. It's a bit difficult to do. We've already got 3 episodes. So.
Well, we'll just keep going
I
as the
think that's more
series
something
goes
to do
on.
at the end of the season, though. I think maybe.
I like to see how it changes over time because maybe over the weeks I'll be like, actually, you know what? The Ghost Monument is better than Rosa, which it
No,
never will be,
not
but
not even close.
it
Not
never will
even
be.
close.
But what I mean is, opinions can change over the weeks, and I don't want to be limited to 1 week only. I keep going. The show must go on. Continues. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Finally getting a bit more Yaz. Yes.
Yeah.
Finally some
Yeah.
family.
She
That'll be
still
interesting.
hasn't done all that much. I mean, she kind of.
This will be her episode. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
but I mean, even in this episode, like she kind of. I mean, she kind of makes sure Rosa goes out on time. And that's about it.
I think it's mainly been concentrating on Ryan to start with. Ryan's pretty violent. I mean, last week he used the gun. This week he used the time thing. I mean, was that part of a plan? Like, I thought
Well,
the
I
doctor
mean,
would have been pretty
the
like,
time thing doesn't kill. It just displaces them in time. That doesn't, just
well, what happens if it leaves and like, just takes him to the road in 100 years' time and he just gets hit by a car?
because well, Rose was being placed in a specific point. Actually, yeah, they don't really specify where or what exactly. Just somewhere in the future, didn't they? They didn't specify where.
Yeah, I know.
But if it's an actual place, then I guess he's probably yeah. But the doctor's put stranded people in place and whatnot. Actually, I was thinking about this. And, if they hadn't gone with the whole white supremacist angle, this could have actually worked as a story for the meddling monk in terms of messing with time and everything.
Oh, they missed out on that one. That would have been good.
Yeah. No, it's just a thought I
But then
had.
that would have been too much to
Well, again, sort of soft
introduce, I guess.
reboots. They're not actually. I don't think really. Thigh subtle nods really going to be doing anything with anything cold.
I mean, the subtle nod was the time vortex manipulator. Really, that was about it.
Yeah. In this episode, yeah.
I'm just interested. Is there a series art, The Timeless Child? I mean, I was watching some videos. A lot of people think it could be Susan, which is usually the usual one, but I think this is probably the best time that it could be.
I don't think it will be. As I said, I think this is a.
Don't you think? Because it's family is kind of a big.
I just think
thing.
this is. I just don't think they're gonna call back to it. I just think this season, especially, this is just a.
Just locked out the TARDIS
Well,
figure by Susan.
well, whether or not they'll do it, they'll reference more things in the future. But I just get the feeling that they won't bring aspects back from the old series in this series. I think this is just a strictly new things only zone, and maybe.
Well, they should get rid of the TARDIS because that's from the old series, and I don't want that in my new.
You know what I
reboot.
mean. It just feels like they don't. Yeah, like they've made this a soft reboot. They said they're not bringing back any of the old villains or anything. I don't think they're gonna also bring back significant old characters in this series as well. I think this is a new series with new things for well, not for new fans necessarily, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah,
New fans. Yeah.
it's not really going to be calling back to the old stuff. I think that's just the vibe I'm getting from this. It's just not gonna. I could be completely wrong on this. I could be completely wrong, but I just the vibe I get is just for this season. If the Timeless Child is something that they might just reference it a few times and then bring it in next season instead. But I don't think it's going to be.
So the one coming
Yeah.
up, there's an episode coming up called Demons of a Punjab, which is episode 6, which makes me think kind of spiritual stuff. I think it will be referenced again then. That's the next time I think it will be referenced, The Timeless Child. I think it'll be then.
Actually, I don't. I think this might be another discussion entirely, but I don't think they'll ever bring in Susan again. Really, if I'm going to be quite honest, I think there are so many times over the past however many years to have done so, and I just think that that's kind of, that's kind of past. That's kind of. I know. I guess I need to think about it more and properly. Just maybe say my views on that in the future.
It'd be
But I
interesting.
don't. I
Yeah.
don't think. I
Who do
don't
you,
think they ever would. I don't think they ever will.
who do you think's gonna show up first in the 13th Doctor's era, Cybermen or Daleks?
I could see the Cybermen more actually. I'm just gonna say that because the impression I've been getting in general is more of a grounded feel, and I'd say generally the Cybermen are creatures based in science, based in reality. Cybermen could happen for all intents and purposes.
Hmm.
Whereas Daleks,
New design? Do you think it's a new
yeah,
design?
again, I think the general soft reboot in general, everything's going to be redesigned when we eventually get Daleks, there'll be a new design. When we eventually get Cybermen, there'll be a new design. Maybe get Sontarans or whatever. I think this is very much a clean break. Just think of this as this is a new revival. This is the way I'm thinking about this. So I don't actually think any of the old designs will be in the new series. I think it will all be done again from scratch.
I would like a new design. I think if they're gonna say for Daleks, it could be finale of next season. Like go big when they do bring it back.
I think it might be longer than that. I think
Even the third season,
May- may-
Jodie's final story, bring the
yeah, I
Daleks
think
in.
something like that could work.
That'd be
That could be
crazy.
cool. That could be cool.
That would be really cool
Yeah.
though. Like leaving it that
Yeah,
late.
but people keep thinking it's gonna happen and it just doesn't happen right to the end.
Because
Yeah.
yeah,
I-
because the problem with like the David Tennant era is like there's Daleks every single
Well,
season,
does every single season in every season.
and it's just so. Well, at least Series 6 didn't have a Dalek story, like a proper one in it.
Yeah.
But then it also kind of sucked. And then, like, the next series, they kicked it off with Daleks, which just means there's no build up. And then same with 12th Doctor, Into the Dalek, episode 2.
Well, yeah, because
And then there was
well, that's
no
again,
Dalek
that's another
stories for the
discussion
rest of it.
entirely. But the watering down the Daleks and the less threat is, it's been really bad to see. So I think the Daleks do need time off so that people's mind can be somewhat forget the missteps and that we can kind of get a clean break with them. I think is what they really need. And then just to go back and make them threatening once again. Maybe.
Isn't it kind of disappointing that, like, Capaldi's only Dalek story is Into the Dalek? Pretty much.
Well,
I mean,
no.
it appears in Twice Upon a Time, but that's about it, really.
What,
a bit in
Magician's
Hellbent.
Apprentice?
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry. I completely forgot about that. Jesus Christ. It's because the titles don't have Dalek in it, so just...
Yeah. Well, those were easily the best ones.
I guess it's more a Davros story,
But
really,
it's
than
still a
Dalek
Dalek story. It's still a Dalek story.
Do you think Davros will return for Jodie's?
Well, they didn't. I think if he does, they will redesign him again, but, I don't know. It's
We'll see. But
difficult
anyway,
to
this
say.
is getting way
Yeah,
off
yeah.
Rosa. This is a Rosa
Actually, one more.
reaction.
Just the last thing I wanted to say is that if they do the Cybermen again, I'm really hopeful for once that we might get something closer to Patrick Troughton era Cybermen because of the slightly more
Yeah.
retro aesthetics they've been doing, but also I don't think they do the original Cybermen again. So maybe we would get something close to that. Which please. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So next week we'll be back. Hopefully as quick as this week.
Probably not.
But
No,
let's
I think
hope. We
things
can only
things
wish.
just ended
So-
up falling into place for this week. I don't know about but we'll see.
Comment below what you thought of Rosa. Comment below what you think of A Timeless Child. Comment below everything.
Anything, just
make
what
sure
did you have
it's
for dinner?
rated. Yeah, what? I wonder what's for dinner.
Octoroks,
Yeah, okay. Octoroks. Oh.
my favourite.
But anyway, this is too much. This is too insider jokes for this series of Doctor Who, Conrad. We
clean break.
We need a soft
Sorry.
reboot with no references to anything.
Yeah, just to create a big sign outside the Doctor Who offices. No references.
No references allowed past this point, and you see people like empty their pockets with like ace badges and slingshots and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Bye.